Thursday, October 23rd.
It would be for those individuals that very much are likely facing arrest.
The provincial government outlining its plans for the coming year, including legislation on treating addiction, safety, and trade.
We will have to do less of some of the things that we want to do so we can do more of what we must do.
In a pre-budget address to Canadians, Prime Minister Mark Carney is promising more investment balanced with less spending.
That's not right for the people, so we're doing that right now.
And with sky-high prices for World Series tickets, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is looking at bringing back a policy to cap resale prices. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Sawatsky.
And I'm Janelle. We hope your day is off to a great start.
And I just have to say, as we were coming onto camera here, Director Corey in our ear said Janelle needed to space away from me on the news desk, and I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I like when we're like shoulder to shoulder.
All right, Director Corey, let's reset this frame for the next shot. Janelle, we'll see you in just a few minutes for a look at the weather. We're going to turn our attention to news right now. The Saskatchewan legislature is back in session. The government outlining plans to introduce legislation around addictions, safety, trade, and tailgating. Trade disputes with the U.S. and China are leading to government efforts to reduce trade barriers with other provinces. On the safety front, there are plans to introduce a law covering cyber stalking and coercion as interpersonal violence and changes to the Change of the Name Act that would prevent name changes for people convicted of serious crimes, and the introduction of what's being called the Compassionate Care Act, which would bring in involuntary treatment for people with addictions who pose a danger to themselves or others.
This would be an additional access point for a very, I would say, small number of individuals, if any at all. It would be for those individuals that very much are likely facing arrest, as they would be in a situation where they are in danger of harming themselves or harming someone in the public around them.
The legislative session will run until early December. Also on the table this session, legislation surrounding legalizing tailgating at Mosaic Stadium, as hinted at the by the Saskatchewan Roughriders last month. Peers of Misha Pavlik, the 19-year-old man who was stabbed to death at a graduation party in 2006, are taking the stand, detailing what they saw the night he was killed. One witness saying Pavlik struck a beer bottle towards an individual, initiating one of many fights which broke out that evening. Another classmate telling court Pavlik was face down on the ground as two men kicked him. 40 other witnesses are still expected to testify as the trial is scheduled over the next 4 weeks. And Saskatoon police were called to court during a second-degree murder trial. Jeremy Dodge is still tracking that for us. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Kayleen. Yeah, police called to Saskatoon's Court of King's Bench during the second-degree murder trial because of safety concerns involving a Crown witness. 28-year-old Andrew Rosenfeld accused of killing his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nakira Brown. She was found shot dead on November 15th, 2022, inside the apartment they shared on Avenue P South. Court heard the two had been dating for about a year and were both members of the Terror Squad street gang. Officers showed up as former gang member Catherine Iron took the stand for a second day. The Crown says Iron's safety has become an issue, telling court, quote, somehow information has gotten out that she had testified about Terror Squad secrets. The judge reminded the gallery there are potential safety concerns and urged people not to take advantage of what's being said in court. A deal in place for a private group to operate Saskatoon's future downtown arena has undergone some notable changes. After striking a deal last summer, Oakview Group paused its deal and came back to the city for a new 25-year deal that aims to bring in more money to the city over the course of the deal. But it also incentivizes Oakview to bring in more money every year. If the arena makes up to $2 million profit, Oakview takes a 50% cut as opposed to 10% in the original deal. But anything between $2 and $4 million profit all goes to the city. Dan Willems, who's leading the Entertainment District project, feels the city got a good deal.
For protection from operating losses is a big one for us, and the massive swing of the incentive fees towards our favor over the higher performing ranges will result in greater revenues for the city.
Oakview is contributing $15 million up front. That's down $5 million from the previous deal. But the city says it can get up to $65 million more under this new structure. Kayleen, an update from the U of R over the dissolution of its students' union.
That's right, Jeremy. The university released a statement following that controversial dissolution vote. The U of R's president said that it recognizes students were disappointed by URSU only offering online participation, with some students being unable to join. He reiterated the university has not dispersed any student funds to URSU of the fall semester and continues to provide core student services and funding to groups that rely on student fees. University leadership added it will work with student leadership that will act in the best interest of the students. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he understands fans' frustrations over the price of World Series tickets.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people.
World Series tickets sold out in about 30 minutes, with many popping back on the resale market at eye-popping prices. Premier Ford now says his government is considering legislation to cap resale prices, but it was his government that scrapped part of a law limiting resale markups to 50%. A Liberal MPP tabled a motion yesterday to bring back the policy. It's been more than 6 years since a concert was held at Mosaic Stadium, but it seems that streak might be over soon. First, a sign showing the logo for the alternative rock band Foo Fighters appearing on the Maxtron at Mosaic Stadium. Then a post from Real District showing riders' jerseys with the last names of the band's members. Real has scheduled a, quote, major announcement for this morning at the stadium. We'll have the latest for you on ctvnews.ca/Regina. The Regina Pats are starting to put some wins together.
Breakaway, here he comes, he stops, Wade centers it, shot stop, rebound, score!
Caden Brown had a pair of goals for the Pats in a 6-3 win over the Lethbridge Hurricanes last night at Brand Centre. That's Regina's second win in a row and vaults them into 8th in the Eastern Conference. The Pats are back in action Friday in Red Deer.
Back across, now guard, right side circle, fires, he scores.
Matthew Guard's 4th of the year was the game winner in overtime as the Red Deer Rebels edged the Swift Current Broncos 4-3 last night. The Broncos have points in each of their 3 last games. They're in PA on Friday. All right, let's get on over to the Weather Center for our first look of the day with Janelle Lepai. What are we seeing to start our day?
Well, Kayleen, I've got some good news for all of you because we are going to continue seeing those very nice temperatures for the rest of the week and into the weekend as well. So let's take a look behind me here at the Morning View, which is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Currently -1 here in Regina as of this morning. When that sun does rise, we'll be seeing a lot of it. We've got a very sunny day ahead of us, but still a little bit of a breeze moving through the air as well. It won't impact temperatures too badly, though we will be seeing some warm temperatures coming our way. Now over to Saskatoon, 2 degrees as that current temperature. That sun will rise as well, but a little bit more cloud cover in the sky is what we're expecting to see. Now let's take a look over at our future cast here. So you can see some of those clouds moving through the province. As for the most part, we won't be seeing anything for precipitation. Little bit of droplets here and there, especially towards Yorkton, but for the most part, just some clouds moving through the sky and some nice temperatures. Let's look at our currents throughout Saskatchewan. Stony Rapids seeing -1. Buffalo Narrows 4 degrees. We've got La Ronge at 2. Prince Albert at -2. Spiritwood and Melfort at 1 degree. Hudson Bay -5. The Battleford sitting at about 1 degree currently. Kindersley 3 degrees along with Swift Current. We've got Assiniboia at 1 degree. Weyburn at -2. Wynyard and Saskatoon again at that +2. Now for our highs today, as you can see, we do have some very nice temperatures ahead of us. So for the Battlefords today, 11 degrees as that high. Saskatoon 13. Prince Albert 12 degrees along with Yorkton. Estevan and Weyburn 15. We've got Moose Jaw seeing about 16 degrees. Lots of sunshine coming our way. Again, still that seasonal cloud cover coming through, but we do have beautiful temperatures. Now let's move over to our 7-day forecast here in Regina. 13 as our high for today. Little bit of a gust moving through, about 25 kilometers per hour here today. Tomorrow, though, we'll be starting off that weekend with 15 degrees and Saturday 18. So this is a beautiful weekend to get out there and do whatever you need to do. Now Monday is when we'll start to see some of that precipitation gathering. Just some rain on the way, 9 degrees. And on Wednesday, we are expecting to see some snow showers. Over to Saskatoon, 13 degrees as that high for today. Some cloud cover in the sky, and that will last us through the weekend as well. 17 degrees as the high on Saturday. Now, if we fast forward over to Wednesday of next week, again, those snow showers are coming, and 5 degrees as that high.
A child taking their first steps is always a landmark moment, and now a Regina-based company was just anonymously gifted a machine which will help many children who struggle with mobility learn to walk. Mick Favel tells us more.
When Leo was 6 months old, he was diagnosed with a genetic disorder which would likely impact his ability to walk. 3 years later, with the help of the Trexel walking device, Leo was in motion, taking a walk around the First Steps Wellness Center. With
a little bit therapies, we kind of got where he's right now. He is making some huge progress. With having the machine here, basically, it is helping us a lot.
The device is designed for children with mobility challenges. Kids at the center with cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, spinal cord injuries, and other neuromuscular conditions will be using the device. Those at the center say the new addition has revolutionized their child therapy program.
We are the first one in Saskatchewan that has one. We're the first nonprofit charity in all of Canada that has one. There's only a handful of devices across the country. They're probably becoming more popular, but they are quite expensive because it's some very new and innovative technology.
Weight and height are factors for those who can use the machine. The child is seated inside with their waist and feet strapped in. Small motors at the waist and knees then propel the motion. Information on how they're doing is then fed back to the operator.
The machine doesn't force them through any movements. Like, it's all super gentle, and it lets me know how they're doing, if they're fighting it, if they're helping it. The super cool thing about it is you see with the iPad, we can adjust everything on the fly. So if the kids, just something isn't walking right, it's just a super quick fix.
Right now, there are spots open at the Center for Children who would benefit from the walking machine. It's one more device that can help clients pursue independence and a better quality of life.
We think it's remarkable. However, we also believe that the secret sauce to our facility and our organization is our staff. So the Trexo is just call it another tool on our tool belt, combined with other methods and other pieces of equipment we use to help kids regain function.
The Trexel walking device was gifted to the center by an anonymous donor. For kids like Leo, being able to put one foot in front of the other is priceless. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, we had a chance to honor one of our own right here at CTV Regina yesterday. Wayne Mantika, a familiar face for viewers across the province, is marking 50 years with CTV News Regina, also known as CKCK-TV during his tenure, which started in 1975. Wednesday, Bell Media, the parent company of CTV News, formally recognizing the milestone by presenting a Bravo Award, the highest honor any Bell employee can receive. Wayne has covered everything from major trials to provincial politics, including the opening of legislative session today. But luckily, we were able to steal him away for a few minutes.
I have so much love in my heart for this man. He is the perfect blend of talent and kindness. Just nobody deserves great things in this life more than Wayne Mantika does.
He's amazing. He really is fantastic. We are so lucky.
Definition of legend in this business. And look at him. He's been doing this 50 years. He barely looks 50 years old.
Oh my gosh, just the best man ever.
Yeah.
I could go on forever about the best Wayne Manteca stories, and I feel very blessed to have those with me. But everyone always comes up to me in public and they're like, what's Wayne Manteca like? And I say, you have no idea how great this man is.
Yes.
So congratulations, Wayne. Everybody adores you.
Yeah.
Brings us to our question of the day. Who would you like to see perform at Mosaic Stadium? And of course, we know this is a relevant topic today because we were just talking in news about there's some rumors going around. We're going to get official confirmation at about 8 a.m. this morning, but some rumors right now that we could be seeing the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
So let's talk about who we would want to see in addition, because we want the Foo Fighters for sure if it's happening. But Jeremy, who would you like to see? Who would make you drive down from Saskatoon for?
Well, there's a lot that I mean, it's not that far. But that stadium lends itself to big rock shows so much. And I have 3 bands. Foo Fighters is one of them. Perfect. Red Hot Chili Peppers and Pearl Jam are my others. I'm a 90s kid. Those are my all-time top 3 acts, and I would love to see them live. Again, this time outdoors in Regina.
I can get behind the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's a really good answer. I would pay a lot of money. I would put my card down and say, just put it on there, whatever the tickets are.
Yes.
Who would you want to see?
I would want to see the Jonas Brothers so that I could bring Corey, our director, with me.
Yeah,
and I think he would really enjoy that.
Oh, he would love that. All right, we want to hear from you. Your text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to go to a quick break.
Nuclear energy is likely to play a major role for any country hoping to make net zero emissions a reality. And that is the message from the CEO of Cameco, a major player in uranium mining, to a room full of stakeholders in the nuclear sector at a conference in Saskatoon Thursday. Keenan Sorokhan takes us there.
Recent history hasn't been easy for Saskatchewan's nuclear industry. Following the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in 2011, demand for uranium plummeted, and Cameco CEO Tim Gitzel was forced to lay off thousands of workers. Today, Saskatchewan's outlook is dramatically different.
Today, we're living in a moment of what I would call unprecedented momentum for nuclear power, the likes of which I have not seen in over 40 years in this business.
With global economies looking towards net zero and sustainable energy, as well as the massive demand for electricity in the race to artificial intelligence, nuclear energy is now part of the conversation.
Nuclear energy stepping forward not quietly, but confidently as a cornerstone solution for the world.
The province established 4 research chairs at different Saskatchewan post-secondaries to help support the growth of nuclear energy. With plans for small modular reactors, Premier Scott Moe hopes nuclear energy will eventually be powering Saskatchewan.
So it's an exciting time, an exciting time for the world as we, I think, truly have direction on how we're going to work together to provide global energy security. An exciting time for North America, despite the very difficult discussions that are happening.
Despite being a landlocked province with a relatively small population, leaders here are taking notice of Saskatchewan welcoming and powering nuclear energy.
People are seeing Saskatchewan as a leader that's going to play a very important role, not only in the province, but also beyond.
Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, let's take a look over at our school day forecast brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, 0 degrees. You might want to grab a jacket, but once that sun does come up, we'll be seeing a lot of it, and by lunchtime, 9 degrees. Now, by the time final bell rolls around, about 3 p.m., 14 degrees right here in Regina. Over to Saskatoon, 3 degrees by the time you get onto the bus, 10 degrees by lunchtime, and a beautiful 14 degrees by final bell. As we go into break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $1.33.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.19.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost is $1.34.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.13.9. Taking a look over at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $555.92 per ton, and the futures price is $618.10 per ton. Amber Durum wheat is $282.27 per ton, and Red Spring wheat is $239.24 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.45 cents US. After the break, Prime Minister Mark Carney addresses the nation, promising new investments, but warning of sacrifices. Those details coming right up.
Your Morning Saskatchewan. It's 6:30, and here's what's making news. Prime Minister Mark Carney is promising investment and warning of sacrifices in his pre-budget address to the nation. Prime Minister Carney delivered the speech in front of students at the University of Ottawa. He promised his government's first budget will include generational investments in areas such as home building and industrial projects. The Prime Minister also said Canada will double its non-U.S. exports over the next decade. New investments is expected to be balanced with less spending.
We won't transform our economy easily or in a few months. It will take some sacrifices, and it will take some time.
These are borders, our way of life.
Prime Minister Carney repeated his promise to find savings in government, but he did say programs like national child care will be protected. The Liberals will table their budget on November 4th.
If he takes my suggestions of bringing down the deficit to the level the Liberal government promised, of getting rid of the hidden taxes on food, well, then let's have a look at it.
They know our conditions, and if they wake up a little bit late, it's once again their problem.
Prime Minister Mark Carney met with opposition leaders ahead of his pre-budget speech yesterday. The Liberals are downplaying the possibility of going to an election when asked if they're worried the government could fall over next month's budget.
If there has to be an election, we will confidently take our plan to the people. But we don't think an election is necessary. Parliament will depend on...
On Tuesday, Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon questioned whether they will be able to pass the budget, but MPs sounded more confident as they headed into a caucus meeting yesterday. Opposition leaders aren't making any commitments quite yet. A Saskatchewan surgeon shared her experience working on the front lines in Gaza in Regina last night. Dr. Deirdre Noonan spoke at Knox Metropolitan United Church, offering her firsthand insights from working in Gaza. In July, she was deployed to Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, providing care during some of the conflict's most intense moments. Last month, the federal government announced it would recognize a Palestinian state, but Dr. Noonan points out diplomatic and economic ties with Israel continue to complicate the situation.
Even in the Saskatchewan level, we have Scott Moe, our premier, hosting the Israeli ambassador to Canada here in Saskatchewan to talk about strengthening economic ties. This is the ambassador of a country that has been found to be committing a genocide in Gaza. No Canadian who saw what I have seen would want to engage in anything that would continue to perpetrate those crimes against humanity.
Noonan is among several Canadian doctors who worked in. The province-wide teachers' strike in Alberta is now into its third week, and teachers are now bracing for back-to-work legislation.
Government wants to kind of brush it under the carpet and just mandate us back and not deal with it.
Premier Danielle Smith says the standoff is becoming an intolerable hardship for students, and that back-to-work legislation could be implemented as early as next week. But many teachers say they would be returning to a learning environment worse than the one before. The union representing Alberta teachers say they're already talking to lawyers to determine their next steps. The strike involves 51,000 teachers in public, separate, and francophone schools and has left 750,000 students out of the classroom. King Charles is at the Vatican this morning for a historic meeting with Pope Leo. The King and Queen Camilla were greeted by church officials as they arrived for the state visit. In a symbol of unity between the Church and England and the Catholic Church, the British monarch and Pope will pray together for the first time in 500 years. The prayer will be part of a service at the Sistine Chapel. This is also the first meeting between King Charles and Pope Leo. Individuals Award nominees for the 2025 CFL season have been announced ahead of the final week of the regular season.
Trevor Harris and the Riders down by 3. Late first half, throwing here. And it's caught and more.
Quarterback Trevor Harris headlines Saskatchewan's nominees as the team's most outstanding player. In 16 games this season, Harris has thrown for more than 4,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 11 interceptions, helping the Green and White finish first overall in the league and earning hosting privileges for the Western Final. Linebacker Jameer Thurman is the Riders' nominee for the most outstanding defensive player, while A.J. Allen for most outstanding Canadian. In total, 6 riders are up for awards this year. Jamarcus Hardrick for most outstanding offensive lineman, Peyton Collins for top rookie, and Nick Weeb, former U of S Husky, for outstanding special team player. Team award winners advance to a second round of voting to determine who will represent the West Division, which will be announced on October 30th. The division finalists will go head-to-head at the CFL Awards, the marquee event of the Grey Cup Festival on November 13th. All right, we welcome back in Janelle Lapai over in the Weather Center. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, as you can see behind me here, that sun isn't quite up yet, but when it does rise, we'll be seeing some very nice temperatures coming along with it. Currently here in Regina, -1 degrees for our current temperature. Once that sun comes up again, we'll be seeing plenty of it, a little bit of a breeze moving through as well. We will see those wind speeds continue into today and the rest of the week. Over to Saskatoon now, 2 degrees, so a little bit warmer is the current temperature. A little bit more cloud cover is expected for today in the Saskatoon area, but again, those temperatures are going to be beautiful. Now let's move over to our futurecast, where you can see some of those clouds moving through the province. We aren't expecting much for precipitation. Little bit of rain towards Yorkton and surrounding areas, but for the most part today, just some clouds. Now let's take a look over at our current temperature here. Stony Rapids -1 degree, Buffalo Narrows currently at 4, La Ronge at 2, South End -6, Nipawin -3, and Melfort, Spiritwood both at 1. The Battleford's 1 degree as well, Kindersley 3 degrees along with Swift Current, Moose Jaw -3, Wynyard 2 along with Saskatoon and Yorkton -4. Now for our highs today in Saskatchewan, the Battlefords will be seeing about 11 degrees. Saskatoon 13, Prince Albert 12 along with Yorkton, both Weyburn and Estevan at 15 degrees, and Swift Current and Moose Jaw 16. So as you can see here, we are expecting to see quite a bit of sunshine today. We do have a very nice day ahead of us. And for the rest of the week as well, we are expecting to see those higher temperatures. Now let's take a look over at our 5-day forecast for here in Regina. Today, again, 13 degrees as our high. We will start to see those wind speeds continue on. As you can tell, tomorrow is when we'll see 15 degrees. Those clouds will start to move in a little bit, but we still have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Saturday, 18 degrees. Make sure you're getting outside and enjoying this last bit of warm weather. By the time we hit Monday, we will start to see a little bit of precipitation, and later on in the week, even some snow showers coming our way. Over towards Saskatoon, 13 degrees as the high for today. Those clouds will be in the sky, and those will stick around into the weekend as well. Tomorrow we'll be seeing about 15 degrees. Now Saturday and Sunday, beautiful temperatures, 17 on Saturday. So no matter where you are in the province, get outside, get some sunshine. By the time Monday rolls around, 9 degrees. Again, still keeping some of that cloud cover and those wind speeds. All right, your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Allen in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And we take you to Charlotte, where the Hornets were hosting the Nets. First quarter, LaMelo Ball throws it up to Brandon Miller for the alley-oop slam. Miller had a game-high 25 points, not 6-7, 6-7. The Hornets open up their season with a win. And it is your must-see moment from Wednesday. I'm judging myself so much right now. Tonight on TSN, we've got the Jets taking on the Kraken. Coverage for that game gets underway at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
Well, Friday cannot come soon enough for the Toronto Blue Jays and their fans. And that's when the team takes on the defending champion LA Dodgers. So how do these two teams stack up? CTV's Heather Wright takes a look at the numbers.
Tinseltown versus Hogtown. Hollywood versus, well, Hollywood North. The World Series heads to Toronto this week. 2 teams, 2 cities, but only one champion.
Nervous, a little bit of an upset tummy, but I think we can do it. I think the Blue Jays have more spirit. They play like the team is even all the way down from 1 to 9, and they play like a team.
As they were at the start of the season, the Dodgers are the betting favorites to win their second World Series title in as many years.
She's gone!
Well, the Blue Jays have gone from worst to first, finishing dead last in the American League in 2024 to winning it all this year.
I think that it's anybody's game, and I think the Jays are the underdogs, and the underdogs always come out.
The LA Dodgers have won 8 World Series in their history compared to 2 for the Toronto Blue Jays. And when it comes to payroll, both teams may be big spenders, but LA has doled out far more cash for stars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts.
The Dodgers' payroll is closer to $350 million, whereas the Blue Jays is about $250. So $100 million. That's a huge gap, right? That's another Shohei Ohtani or 2, right? That they can afford with that difference.
And while the Dodgers took the season series against the Blue Jays 2-1, the Jays have the better regular season record and have earned home field advantage because of it, which at least one statistician says gives the Jays a slight edge.
When I did a simple statistical model and just tried to put it all together, I'm currently estimating Toronto with a 52.46% chance of winning the World Series.
At the end of the day, though, there really is only one number that matters, and that is 4. 4 games to win the World Series. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
You'll be doing all right with your Christmas so white, but I'll have a blue Christmas.
Beverly Mahood is coming to Saskatchewan. She'll be at Regina's Dark Hall on December 13th with the Girls A Country Christmas. And Beverly is with us here this morning. Good morning, Beverly.
Good morning, Saskatchewan. How are you guys doing out there?
We are doing fantastic. So teaming up with 2 other icons of Canadian country music, Lisa Brokop and Patricia Conroy. Tell us what people can expect from this show with you all together.
Well, I can truly say that I'm honored to be on the stage with girls that are icons and legends to me. So the 3 of us just have so much fun on stage. So you're going to hear, country music, women having fun. And, usually when I'm in Saskatchewan, I'm ringing those phones for Tell a Miracle. But this time we're going to be ringing the bells for Christmas. So it's such a great holiday spirit and a great partnership with 2 women that I love and respect.
This sounds like a ton of fun, Beverly. And this means that you'll be spending at least some of the holidays right here on the prairies. Why is that so special for you?
I'll tell you why it's special for me. I always feel like the prairies in Saskatchewan is like my second home and my second family. So to be out there just before Christmas on the 13th at the Dark Hall, that's going to be very special to me. And I already know a lot of my Saskatchewan friends are going to be coming out to seeing the show. And for me, that's exciting. But tickets are selling fast. You got to tell people that. They're almost gone.
Well, make sure you grab your tickets before they're out. And Tell a Miracle is a partner for the show. Tell me about this partnership and what it means to you.
Well, Telemiracle always has and will have a special place in my heart. I think this is maybe my 29th year. Don't quote me on that, but it could be. And it being Telemiracle being the 50th anniversary, what a special year this will be. So I love that partnership, because when good things come together to make great things happen, that's an amazing partnership. Much like Lisa Brokop and Patricia Conroy and I, it is just the right thing that we have partnered up to do this and to do music together and to share our music with our audience and our fans, and a little bit of Christmas cheer at the same time.
Fantastic, Beverly. And before we wrap things up, why should people head on over to darkhall.ca to grab their tickets?
I would say, why not? I always say, there's always those humbugs out there that just can't get into the holiday spirit, and this is one way to do that.
Amazing, Beverly. Well, it was a pleasure to chat with you here this morning. Thank you so much.
You as well. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
It's October 23rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. Let's kick things off with a big happy birthday wish going out to Sophie, who turns 7 today. Your mom, dad, and Emma love you so much. And happy birthday to Declan. This is coming from Grandma, Grandpa, and the rest of your family. We hope you have a great day. Happy 23rd birthday to Macy. Your family and friends love you and are wishing you the best day. And Robert is 59. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from Judy and all of the pets. Clark is turning 3 today. Happy birthday to you and have so much fun today. Love Papa and Grandma. Happy belated 65th birthday to Ron. Your family hopes you have an extra special day. Happy birthday also going out to Dylan. Your mom and dad are sending you all of their love. Happy 13th birthday to Peyton. Lots of love from Mama and Papa. Happy 18th birthday to Taylor. Your family loves you so much and is wishing you luck on your basketball game this weekend. A very special birthday wish going out to CTV's very own morning show engineer, Brooke. This is coming from your mom, dad, Corey, and all of your friends right here at the station. Happy 50th birthday to Aaron. Your family loves you so much and hopes you have a wonderful day. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us over an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Please send them at least one day in advance.
I want to show them that I'm not like anybody in this town. I'm everybody in the scene and everything in between.
We amplified black talent.
He changed the world. Not just American culture, he changed the world.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Here's your first look at Being Eddie. The documentary examines Eddie Murphy's unique and barrier-breaking career, talking with a host of fellow Hollywood legends and going in depth with Murphy himself. Being Eddie debuts November 12th on Netflix.
If we get this wrong, none of us are going to be alive tomorrow. There is no plan B.
The nuclear thriller A House of Dynamite is the first feature in 8 years from Oscar-winning director Catherine Bigelow.
There is a specialness about her films because she makes so few of them, and because it's like, I think a lot of the great films, like Peter Weir as well, like, Chris Nolan, there's a personal connection to whatever it is she's asking of the audience and of the viewer in why she's brought this to life.
A House of Dynamite is now playing in limited release and debuts on Netflix Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Just ready to blow.
All right, for the first time this morning, we head on over to Pure Country 92.7, where we find Chase. What's going on this morning?
We're talking about conflicting schedules. Let's face it, a lot of us didn't think the Jays would still be playing at this time of year, and you might have made plans already for the weekend. The one we're looking at today, a friend of mine is going to a wedding on a Saturday night, and the ceremony reception all in the evening too, so they are lining up kind of perfectly, or not so perfect, with the Jays game too. Now, the bride is currently entertaining the idea of having the Jays game on in the background, and we're putting it out there to you today, too. Is that all right? Do you think it'd be too distracting? Do you need it on there anyway? Because otherwise people are just going to be on their phones watching. Text in 54321. Let's see if we can get them a little bit of an answer today. If it's okay to have the Jays on in the background of a wedding, yay or nay?
Time. Hockey season is in full swing, and this little fan is getting into the sport with a classic song.
Oh, it'll be on there. Longing it tonight. The whistle, and the puck goes down the wink. The ice.
Little Connor is learning the hockey song by Stompin' Tom Connors through an illustrated book. The tot already has the words memorized and has the melody down too. Loves everything to do with hockey. He was named after Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard after all. So you know this little sports fan is going to be good at it.
And Stompin' Tom Connors as well, of course.
Oh, of course, yes.
The Connor Triumvirate.
All right, Jeremy, what do you have?
Okay, we've got a baby who just can't stop laughing when told to be quiet.
I'm gonna go find your Bessie, okay?
It's like, Dad, you try and tell me what to do. You're so funny. You think you can make me do what you want. Dad shushes her. Apparently, Mommy was actually sleeping, though, and they were trying to be quiet as possible.
Oh, you just can't get anything better than the sound of a baby's giggle. I stand by that.
It's true.
The best thing in the world. All right, fill up your coffee cups. We hope you stay with us for our next hour, where we're going to talk about more news and weather headlines. It's Thursday, October 23rd.
It would be for those individuals that very much are likely facing arrest.
The provincial government outlining its plans for the coming year, including legislation on treating addiction, safety, and trade.
We will have to do less of some of the things that we want to do so we can do more of what we must do.
In a pre-budget address to Canadians, Prime Minister Mark Carney is promising more investment balanced with less spending.
That's not right for the people, so we're doing that right now.
And with sky-high prices for World Series tickets, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is looking at bringing back a policy to cap resale prices. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Sawatsky.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
Daryl Romold is still away. He'll be back on Monday. I know everybody misses him, but we're having a lot of fun over here.
We sure are, yes. We always do, though.
So what's on tap for the weather today, Janelle?
Well, we are seeing some beautiful temperatures. A little bit of a breeze out there. We are expecting to see that continue on into the weekend as well. But those temperatures are above seasonal. It's looking beautiful.
All right. Even with the winds, we'll take the above seasonal average temperatures. All right. Let's turn our attention over to news. The provincial government Wednesday outlining its plans for the coming year through a speech from the throne at the Legislative Building. Among key initiatives will be legislation forcing some drug addicts into treatment and framework for tailgate parties at Rider games. Wayne Mantika with the details for us.
Energy. The throne speech comes in the midst of economic uncertainty created by American and Chinese tariffs.
Our government will continue to make every effort to work collaboratively with the federal government toward our shared goals of a strong and growing Saskatchewan within a strong and united Canada.
In outlining its plans for the year ahead, the government said it will introduce compassionate care legislation that would force a limited number of addicts into treatment.
Introducing legislation that will require individuals who may be a threat to themselves or others to enter into addictions program, ensuring that they get the help that they need while keeping our communities safe and secure.
The move has the support of some in the inner city who have witnessed the impact of drug addiction in the area.
There's all kinds of treatment centers out there for everybody, even people on alcoholism.
I think it would be a good idea to help them out and
and assess them and see what really is the real problem with them, what they really need help with.
It would benefit everyone because it'll take them off the street. It would put them in the right direction.
The throne speech also promises to work with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders in developing a framework for tailgate parties at games.
Could we look at some enabling regulations that are in this space? And we thought, well, why not?
That idea has the support of many Rider fans.
Yeah, I mean, the more fans involved and coming to the games, all the better.
Yeah, I might go. I think it's okay. No problem.
Didn't totally enjoy a tailgate system. Kind of like, I think Calgary has it. A few other places have it, and that would be fun.
Over the months ahead, the government will also have to address the economic consequences of tariffs. The Premier says the impact will be felt on government finances, both federally and provincially. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Meanwhile, multiple protests were happening outside of the Legislative Building. The first, a demonstration against austerity by the Regina Anti-Poverty Ministry. Both advocates and the NDP are pushing for the provincial government to address issues with homelessness, childcare, and rent control in the province.
The biggest piece of rent control legislation is going to be the need to cap the amount that rents can be increased in a given year. We've seen rental increases in the 20-30% range over the course of the year, and that just basically throws people out into the street.
And that was not the only protest of the day. There was also a pro-Palestine protest over Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe's cooperation with Israel. Now, this stems from Moe meeting with Israel's ambassador to Canada last month to discuss the future of the economic relationship between Israel and Saskatchewan. Those attending the protest say Saskatchewan shouldn't be taking a position like this when it comes to Israel.
I think people are really frustrated with Premier Moe in that he's the only premier that has come out publicly and expressed wanting to expand trade with Israel with these war crimes, genocide. Why else would you do that? No other premier has done that. Prime Minister Mark Carney has not expressed a desire to expand trade with Israel, and that's a political decision that he's taking.
In a post about the meeting, Israel's ambassador, the premier said discussions focused on technological cooperation and market diversification. Moe adding he was confident in the strong mutual opportunities and future of our relations. And Saskatoon police were called to court during a second-degree murder trial. Jeremy Dodge is tracking that story for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Kayleen. Yeah, more police officers called to Saskatoon's Court of King's Bench yesterday amid safety concerns of a Crown witness. The witness was there to testify for a second day in the case of a man on trial in the death of his girlfriend. CTV's Laura Woodward explains.
Saskatoon police officers surrounded the courtroom where Andrew Rosenfeld's second-degree murder trial is being held. Rosenfeld is accused of killing his 20-year-old girlfriend, Nakira Brown, who was found shot dead on November 15, 2022, inside this apartment they shared on Avenue P South. Court heard that Rosenfeld and Brown had been dating for about a year and were both members of the Terror Squad street gang. Police officers showed up as a former gang member took the stand for the second day. The Crown prosecutor said the safety of the witness has become an issue. Quote, somehow information has gotten out that she had testified about Terror Squad secrets. The Crown raised concerns about Rosenfeld's communication with his mother. Quote, we've had some people in the courtroom see her step out and make phone calls after certain names were mentioned during testimony. The former gang member testified that she and Brown had planned to go for a walk. But under cross-examination, she admitted the walk was actually a planned mission to attack a fellow gang member as retribution. The judge told the gallery she hopes people in the courtroom have an understanding of potential safety issues and don't take advantage of the information shared. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One moment here. Sorry, just trying to find my spot. Love technology. All right. Residents may have noticed some smoke in the air south of the city this weekend. It's part of a fire training exercise. These are prescribed fire activities planned for Cranberry Flats, Chief Whitecap Park, and Beaver Creek Conservation Areas, as well as Brightwater Science and Environmental Center and the NCC Asquith Conservation Area. The burns are part of a 5-day live fire training event hosted by the Meewasin Valley Authority and Canadian Prairie's Prescribed Fire Training Exchange. Brings more than 60 participants from across North America to focus on building capacity, strengthening interagency partnerships, and advancing ecological restoration. All right, Kayleen, witnesses taking the stand at a Regina murder trial this week.
That's right, Jeremy. Peers of Misha Pavlik, the 19-year-old man who was stabbed to death at a graduation party in 2006, are taking the stand, detailing what they saw the night he was killed. One witness saying Pavlik struck a beer bottle towards an individual, initiating one of many fights which broke out that evening. Another classmate telling court Pavlik face down on the ground as two men were kicking him. 40 other witnesses are still expected to testify as the trial is scheduled over the next 4 weeks. The University of Regina has released a statement following a controversial dissolution vote by the U of R Students' Union. The U of R's president said that it recognizes students were disappointed by URSU only offering online participation, with some students being unable to join. He reiterated the university has not dispersed any student funds to URSU on the fall semester and continues to provide core student services and funding to groups that rely on students' fees. University leadership added that it will work with student leadership that will act in the best interests of the students. The province-wide teachers' strike in Alberta is now into its 3rd week, and teachers are now bracing for back-to-work legislation.
Government wants to kind of brush it under the carpet and just mandate us back and not deal with it.
Premier Danielle Smith says the standoff is becoming an intolerable hardship for students and that back-to-work legislation could be implemented as early as next week. But many teachers say they would be returning to a learning environment worse than the one before. The union representing Alberta teachers say they've already talked to lawyers to determine their next steps. The strike involves 51,000 teachers in public, separate, and francophone schools and has left 750,000 students out of the classroom. It's been more than 6 years since a concert was held at Mosaic Stadium, but it seems that streak will soon be over. The first, a sign showing the logo for the alternative rock band Foo Fighters appearing on the Maxtron at Mosaic Stadium. Then a post from the Real District showing rider jerseys with the last names of the band's members. Real has scheduled a major announcement for later on this morning at the stadium. We'll bring you the latest when we know. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he understands fans are frustrated over the price of World Series tickets.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people.
World Series tickets sold out in about 30 minutes, with many popping back on the resale market at eye-popping prices. Premier Ford now says his government is considering legislation to cap resale prices, but it was his government that scrapped part of a law limiting resale markups to 50%. A Liberal MPP tabled a motion yesterday to bring back the policy. WCBL off-season news now. Swift Current 57s have hired a new coach. Jared Franklin is taking over the 57s bench. He has nearly 3 decades of experience, including 14 at the collegiate level. Most recently, he was the head coach of the 18U AAA Parkland Expos and an assistant coach for the 18U Team Saskatchewan. Franklin takes over from previous head coach Rudy Estrella, who was the coach the past 2 seasons, finishing with a 26-84 record. Swift Current has not made the playoffs since 2023. The Regina Pats are starting to put some wins together.
Breakaway, here he comes, he stops, Wade centers it, shot stop, rebound, score!
Caden Brown had a pair of goals for the Pats in a 6-3 win over the Lethbridge Hurricanes last night at the Brand Centre. That's Regina's 2nd win in a row and vaults them into 8th in the Eastern Conference. The Pats are back in action on Friday in Red Deer.
Back across, now guard, right side circle, fires, he scores.
And Matthew Guard's fourth of the year was the game winner in overtime as the Red Deer Rebels edged the Swift Current Broncos 4-3 last night. The Broncos have points in each of their last 3 games. They're in PA on Friday.
You lose the offense.
All right, now we head on over to the Weather Center where we find Janelle Lapai. What's going on this morning?
Well, we are starting to see that sun rise finally, as you can see behind me right here in our morning view, which is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Currently -1 here in Regina. We are starting to see that temperature get a little bit warmer, especially for this fall season. Now, we are seeing above seasonal temperatures as well. We will continue to see those into the weekend. As for Saskatoon, 1 degree currently. Once that sun fully rises, a little bit more cloud cover in the sky for the Saskatoon area. However, that temperature is still going to be nice. Now let's move over to our futurecast here, where you can see some of those clouds moving through the province. We aren't expecting to see anything in terms of rain or precipitation or even snow as of yet. However, next week is when that will slowly but surely begin. Now let's take a look over at our current temperatures throughout the province. Stony Rapids -1, Buffalo Narrows 4 degrees, La Ronge at 3, South End -6, Nipawin -3. We've got Melfort at 0 degrees and Spiritwood at 1. The Battleford's at 1 as well. Kindersley 3 degrees along with Swift Current. Weyburn -2, Yorkton -5, Estevan -1, and East End at 2 degrees. Now our highs for today, as you can see, some sunshine is absolutely on the way for us here in Saskatchewan. The Battleford's sitting at about 11 degrees for their high. Prince Albert 12 along with Yorkton, Estevan and Weyburn at 15, Swift Current and Moose Jaw at 16. Now for our 7-day forecast here in Regina. Today, again, we'll be reaching that high of about 13 degrees and lots of sunshine. Now, starting tomorrow, still a beautiful temperature at 15 degrees, but we will start to see those clouds rolling through. Those will last up through next week as well. Now, Monday, 9 degrees, and we are expecting to see some of that rain coming through, so that is something to be mindful of. And then on Wednesday, those snow showers are expected to begin. Over to Saskatoon now. Today, a little bit of cloud cover in the sky, 13 degrees still. Tomorrow, 15 degrees. Now, Saturday and Sunday is when you'll start to see quite a bit more cloud cover. Still beautiful temperatures, but we will be leading up to Wednesday, which is 5 degrees with the high. Now, snow showers on the way as well, so that temperature will fluctuate a little bit. It's going to be a little bit of a chilly day for both Regina and Saskatoon on that Wednesday. Let's take a look over at our rural forecast for today. Meadow Lake, 10 degrees, Spiritwood 9. We've got Kindersley at 15 and Outlook at 16. Beautiful temperatures across Saskatchewan for today. Maple Creek seeing 17 degrees, East End Cypress 15, along with Rock Glen. Carlisle 12 degrees, Broadview 13, along with Lumsden and Assiniboia at 16. Now let's take a look over at Duck Lake, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 11 degrees over in Duck Lake, mainly sunny conditions, couple clouds in the sky, and you will see those wind speeds up to 10 to 20 kilometers per hour.
All right, let's head out on the go now and track down Mike Siona, who is getting us set for spooky season. Mike?
Well, welcome to the carnival, and it's not a summertime type of carnival. It is a spooky Theater of Madness type carnival. I'm here with Corey J., who's put this all together. You've outgrown the space at Center Mall here. Tell us where we are.
So right now we're out at the Crossmount, and at the Crossmount, this is where it all began. The whole backstory to the Theater of Madness. We've got Isaiah. When people arrive here, they get to check out the story.
No doubt about it. It is creepy and spooktacular, which is perfect for this time of year. And there is that story, little interactive, and you get to walk through this. Tell us about it.
Yes, there's a backstory, the lore. You're guided out by a tour guide. You watch a story before you come out. And while you're out here, you're never quite sure if you've got props or if they're actually really actors.
Oh, indeed. I can see that now. I hope they're props, but it doesn't matter what I think right now. Really, really cool. And I was also poking around on the website. It said kind of groups of 6 to 8 is the best way to experience this?
Yes, groups 6 to 8, and we highly encourage that because what you can do is you can come out, you can get some food, you can get some drinks, and the Cross Mountain food here is amazing. The cider, obviously, the story is based around the cider as well, too. Yes.
Very, very cool. Okay, I love that. We're going to check it out. We're going to give you more details on things that are going on here and also let you know what's happening in Prince Albert during this Halloween season.
Well, if you're a fan of the Backstreet Boys and a fan of Taylor Swift, this one is for you. Listen up. Posted this video to social media, which featured a mashup of Swift's new song Elizabeth Taylor and the Backstreet Boys' classic Everybody. Taylor appeared thrilled about it, commenting, "Oh, hi, AJ. Oh, my God." This came up on my TikTok For You page because the algorithm just knows me. I am a fan of the Backstreet Boys and of Taylor Swift. And this... It was amazing. I jammed to it. I listened to it on repeat.
Yes.
Incredible mashup. Have you guys heard it? Like,
yes.
Are you a fan of the new album?
I do enjoy the new album, and this is fantastic.
Yeah, really good mashup there. Immediately adding to playlist. All right, question of the daytime. We're staying on that music theme. So we're asking you, who would you like to play at Mosaic Stadium? Because as we know, we have some rumors going around. We're going to have those either confirmed or not in about 40 minutes time when the announcement is officially made. But let's talk about who people would want to see at Mosaic Stadium.
Yeah, we're getting in a lot of good answers. We've got Tanya here who says Duran Duran, AC/DC, and Pink, which I think would all be very fun concerts to go to. Colleen here says Bruno Mars or Cher. Now, Cher has a special place in my heart. I'm with you, Colleen. I would love to see Cher at the Mosaic Stadium.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one.
Let's see what else we got here. Rush would be a great concert to see. Maybe the Chili Peppers. This is coming in from Darren. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm a massive Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, so any chance to see them.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right, Darren. Well, you will see Jeremy there if they do come. We've also got
that one.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, I see Karen saying Reba up on that board.
Reba would be
That
great.
would be incredible. I would be front row.
How fun would that be? And then we've also got Luke Combs or Morgan Wallen. And again, another Pink fan here. So we're getting in some good answers. I now want all of these concerts to happen.
Yeah, all right. We want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Or scan that QR code on your screen. Let us know. Who would you want to see at Mosaic Stadium?
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for we take you to Charlotte, where the Hornets were hosting the Nets. First quarter, LaMelo Ball throws it up to Brandon Miller for the alley-oop slam. Miller had a game-high 25 points, not 6-7, 6-7. The Hornets open up their season with a win. And here's your must-see moment from Wednesday. I'm judging myself so much right now. Tonight on TSN, we've got the Jets taking on the Kraken. Coverage for that game gets underway at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
It's time for our morning mystery. Let's dive right in. Clue number 1 says, this candy was named after the family horse.
Aww.
Okay. It was first sold in the 1930s for 5 cents. Not giving us much here. The main slogan for the chocolate bar is, you're not you when you're hungry. Oh, I've seen enough commercials to know this one.
Yeah.
Janelle,
wait.
How are you feeling?
I'm a little nervous. My track record hasn't been great lately.
All right.
No kidding.
Wait for Janelle to write down her answer. I think we're all correct here. Let's take a look. It is.
Yay!
You're not you when you're hungry. Yeah. This campaign was launched during the 2010 Super Bowl and is still widely used. Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, I like
feel
it.
good about it.
Well, now I am hungry, so I'm not me. That was today's Morning Mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Take a look at our school day forecast today, which is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, 0 degrees. By the time lunchtime rolls around, a beautiful 9 degrees. And by final bell, 14. As for Saskatoon, 3 degrees. By the time you get onto the bus, by noon, 10 degrees. And by final bell, 14 degrees. We're getting lots of sunshine here. As we go to the break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $1.33.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.19.9. And in Saskatoon, the common cost is $1.34.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.13.9. Taking a look over at farm markets, the street price of canola is $555.92 per ton, and the futures price is $618.10 per ton. Amber durum wheat is $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat is $239.24 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.45 cents US. Coming up, why healthcare workers are raising concerns about overcrowding at Saskatoon's Royal University Hospital.
Your Morning Saskatchewan. It's just before 7:30 on your Thursday morning, and here's what's making news. Prime Minister Mark Carney has pledged to make generational investments in a campaign-style speech ahead of next month's fall budget. But his promise of bold action came with a warning, telling Canadians that transforming the economy will take some sacrifices.
Even with such efficiencies and with better management, we will have to do less of some of the things that we want to do so we can do more of what we must do.
Carney's goal for Canada is to double non-U.S. exports over the next decade. He says that will generate $300 billion in trade. Last night's address did not include any major commitments, but it shed new light on key themes guiding the government's economic plan, including diversifying trading partners and plans for immigration. Former Parliamentary Budget Officer Kevin Page says Carney's plans will face challenges. Justice Minister Sean Fraser is set to table the government's bail and sentencing reform bill today. Fraser will speak to reporters about the reforms this afternoon. The Liberal government has been under intense pressure to make changes to the country's bail and sentencing standards for violent crime. Prime Minister Mark Carney said last week that the new legislation would make bail more difficult for violent and organized crime offenses by imposing a reverse onus on the accused to prove why they should be granted bail. Premier Scott Moe says the province is working to address healthcare pressures after hundreds of workers raised concerns about overcrowding at Royal University Hospital's emergency department. The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses shared a letter signed by 450 employees on social media. It warns severe overcrowding at RUH is putting staff and patient safety at risk. Moe says the province is taking action, pointing to the urgent care centre under construction in Saskatoon, 109 new acute care beds at City Hospital, and continued efforts to recruit and retain healthcare workers. Sun says the province needs to act on the solutions outlined in the letter and make system-wide changes so resources aren't tied up in emergency rooms.
I thank them for using their voice and raising these important issues. And what I would say is this very much parallels largely with what we've heard from Saskatchewan people over the course of the past year.
It's an issue that is a result of failures across the system. You know, when we don't see the appropriate amount of long-term care facilities available and staff to work it, we see them in acute care beds where they don't belong, waiting for a placement.
The union says it hopes the conversation leads to real change. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is warning the annexation of the West Bank would endanger the peace plan in Gaza.
That's a vote in the Knesset, but obviously I think the president's made clear that that's not something we'd be supportive of right now, and we think there's potentially even threatening to the peace deal. So they're a democracy, they're going to have their votes, people are going to take these positions, but at this time it's something that we think it might be counterproductive.
An annexation bill has advanced in Israeli parliament. Rubio is in Israel today, working to keep a truce between Israel and Hamas in place. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has also been in Israel for the same reason. Meanwhile, the International Court of Justice says Israel has a legal obligation to allow aid into Gaza. An advisory opinion from the court says Israel hasn't substantiated its allegations. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees lacked neutrality or that a significant number of its staff were members of Hamas. A Saskatchewan surgeon shared her experience working on the front lines in Gaza in Regina last night. Dr. Deirdre Noonan spoke at Knox Metropolitan United Church, offering her firsthand insights from working in Gaza. In July, she was deployed to Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, providing care during some of the conflict's most intense moments. Last month, the federal government announced it would recognize a Palestinian state, but Dr. Noonan points out diplomatic and economic ties with Israel continue to complicate the situation.
Even in the Saskatchewan level, we have Scott Moe, our premier, hosting the Israeli ambassador to Canada here in Saskatchewan to talk about strengthening economic ties. This is the ambassador of a country that has been found to be committing a genocide in Gaza. No Canadian who saw what I have seen would want to engage in anything that would continue to perpetrate those crimes against humanity.
Noonan is among several Canadian doctors who worked in Gaza. Individual awards nominees for the 2025 CFL season have been announced ahead of the final week of the regular season.
Trevor Harris and the Riders down by 3. Late first half, throwing here. And it's caught and more.
Quarterback Trevor Harris headlines Saskatchewan's nominees as the team's most outstanding player. In 16 games this season, Harris has thrown for more than 4,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 11 interceptions, helping the Green and White finish first overall in the league and earning hosting privileges for the Western Final. Linebacker Jameer Thurman is the Riders' nominee for the most outstanding defensive player, while A.J. Allen for most outstanding Canadian. In total, 6 Riders are up for awards this year. Jamarcus Hardrick for most outstanding offensive lineman, Peyton Collins for top rookie, and Nick Weeb, former U of S Husky, for outstanding special team player. Team awards winners advance to a second round of voting to determine who will represent the West Divisions, which will be announced on October 30th. The division finalists will go head-to-head at the CFL Awards, the marquee event of the Grey Cup Festival, on November 13th. All right, time to get over to the Weather Center, and for the first time this morning, we're finally seeing that sun completely up in the sky. What are temperatures looking like, Janelle?
That's right. Well, it is looking beautiful out there, and the temperature is going to be reflecting that. Now, we are starting off this morning a little bit cooler here in Regina, -1 as our current temperature, but as you can see here, that sun comes up, and we are going to have nothing but sunshine. Not too much for cloud cover in the sky over the Regina area for the most part. We do have a beautiful day ahead of us. Over to Saskatoon, 1 degree as that current temperature. Again, nice sunshine today, a little bit more cloud cover in the sky, but those temperatures are definitely above seasonal and will reflect that. Now let's take a look over at our futurecast for today. You can see some of those clouds moving through the province. As you can tell, not much for any precipitation coming through. Maybe a little bit here and there around the Yorkton area, but for the most part, we've got a dry day ahead of us. Now for current temperatures across the province, Stony Rapids -1, Buffalo Narrows 4 degrees, La Ronge 3, South End -6, Nipawin -3, Melfort 0 degrees, and Spiritwood 1. The Battleford's also at about 1 degree currently, Kindersley 3 degrees along with Swift Current, Regina again at that -1, Yorkton -4, and Weyburn -2. Now let's look over our highs today across the province. The Battleford seeing about 11 degrees. Prince Albert 12 degrees. Saskatoon again 13 along with Regina. Moose Jaw 16 along with Swift Current, and Weyburn and Estevan 15. Now for our 7-day forecast here in Regina, 13 again as our high for today. Lots of nice sunshine. We'll roll into tomorrow where we see 15 degrees as the high. Some of those clouds starting to gather. We will see them continue on throughout the weekend, but still Saturday 18 degrees. So if there's any day to get outside, that would be the one. Now starting on Monday is when you'll start to see more of those clouds coming together. We are expecting to see some precipitation later on in the afternoon as well. Once Wednesday rolls around, we will be seeing those snow showers coming through as well. So 5 degrees, things are going to start cooling off a little bit. So definitely take advantage of this weekend. Over in Saskatoon, 13 degrees as well for the high. Those clouds will be in the sky, but they will begin to gather more on Saturday. 17 degrees for the high on Saturday. Those clouds will stick around throughout next week as well. And of course, on Wednesday, those snow showers in the Saskatoon area as well. Still 5 degrees as the high. Things are going to get a little wet. All right, your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
We had a chance to honor one of our own here at CTV Regina yesterday. Wayne Mantika, a familiar face for viewers across the province, is marking 50 years with CTV News Regina. Also known as CKCK-TV during his tenure, which started in 1975. Wednesday, Bell Media, the parent company of CTV News, formally recognizing the milestone by presenting a Bravo Award, the highest honor any Bell employee can receive. Wayne has covered everything from major trials to provincial politics. Luckily, we were able to steal him away for a few minutes. Congratulations, Wayne.
At Regina City Council Wednesday, Mayor Chad Baczynski brought forward a report outlining the city's strategic plan for 2026 through to 2029. The goal, he said, is to focus priorities on infrastructure, vibrancy, livability, and prosperity, and to set the stage for intentional growth and community connection, as well as economic opportunity. To take us more through these details, we welcome him to the studio now. Good morning.
Good morning.
So that's a lot that was discussed on the table yesterday. It's a big goal. Let's start with infrastructure. What do you want to see happen there through until 2029?
Yeah, I think, infrastructure, I've talked quite a bit about how we have a quite substantial infrastructure deficit, approximately $750 million that we're looking to catch up on. And so, there is a focus area and a priority to tackle that, to make sure that we, mitigate risk and make sure we're building the core needs of infrastructure for our city.
All right. Well, so the next points were vibrancy, livability, and prosperity. They sort of go hand in hand with one another. What kind of changes would you like to see going forward?
Yeah, for me, it's and again, it's not a fundamental reset or shift. It's really just providing more focus into some of those areas based on what we've heard from residents. And we know that there needs to be a balance between that core infrastructure, roads and pipes and otherwise, and the services that we deliver, everything from transit to park spaces to community centers. So it's really finding that balance, and I'm really thankful for the work that both council and administration have done together to try and marry very competing but important priorities of our community to the action plans and the master plans that we have in administration.
Regina has been seeing growth in recent years, and that's been great, but you're saying there's room for more intentional growth. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, to me, it means, one, Regina's open for business, and two, it means that we're setting up the infrastructure in place and creating a community that invites people to come. So, those things go hand in hand. If we don't have the infrastructure in place, we can't build, homes for people to come to. And if we don't have things to do in the city, and we don't have beautiful spaces and maintain those beautiful spaces that we do have, then we're not going to attract those residents either. So, and attract people to stay here. So, between those kind of two big pillars, those are rolled up into those priority areas.
Is there anything else that Regina can be doing right now to be seeing some more of that economic opportunity for citizens?
I think it's really just having those priority focus areas. I think if I think sometimes, and this is in general, we get spread thin, and just providing more focus and priority. And I think if we focus in on the areas that are going to have the biggest impact for our community, I think we'll see some very intentional growth.
All right. Well, moving away from the strategic plan, we're going to talk about the Safe Spaces Act. That was brought up again last night. What's the update? Yeah, so update yesterday was that it was the third and final reading, so there's no further discussion at that point. It was more of a procedural component there. So that bylaw, that act is now in place in Regina, as it is in Saskatoon and Moose Jaw, and going forward, as described by the acting chief of police, we'll see that enacted in our community. We only have about 30 seconds left, but really quickly here, there's an announcement coming up in about 20 minutes time. Can you tell us anything about that? I don't want to get too into anything, but I can tell you it's something very exciting. I hope everybody tunes in at 8 o'clock. I think everybody will be very, very excited what's to come to Regina. All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning. That was Regina's Mayor Chad Baczynski.
Here's what's happening in our community. An art show and sale is happening Saturday, October 23rd at the Art Gallery of Regina, 2420 Elphinstone Street. It's put on by the Brushworks Artist Guild.ca. Craft and trade sale happening October 24th and 25th at the Heritage United Church on Arneson Street. Admission $2. Wowoda's Haunted Hotel Tour happens October 24th and 25th at 7 p.m. Railway Avenue in Wowoda. Admission $25. An annual farm toy and collectors show happening October 24th and 25 at a church on McMurtry Avenue, 306-550-9514 for more. And a craft show happening at the Dysart Community Hall. Admission is free. It's on Saturday, October 25th at 10 a.m. If you'd like your event shown here, email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca at least 2 weeks in advance.
Let's go back out to Mike Siona now, who is scaring up some fun. Mike.
Spooked out. I'm joined now by Kieran McKercher from Crossmouth Cider Company. Out here, it's incredible just how spooky this has become. Give us the details of the carnival.
Start.
It's October 23rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. Let's kick things off with a big happy birthday wish going out to Sophie, who turns 7 today. Your mom, dad, and Emma love you so much. And happy birthday to Declan. This is coming from Grandma, Grandpa, and the rest of your family. We hope you have a great day. Happy 23rd birthday to Macy. Your family and friends love you and are wishing you the best day. And Robert is 59. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from Judy and all of the pets. Clark is turning 3 today. Happy birthday to you and have so much fun today. Love Papa and Grandma. Happy belated 65th birthday to Ron. Your family hopes you have an extra special day. Happy birthday also going out to Dylan. Your mom and dad are sending you all of their love. Happy 13th birthday to Peyton. Lots of love from Mama and Papa. Happy 18th birthday to Taylor. Your family loves you so much and is wishing you luck on your basketball game this weekend. A very special birthday wish going out to CTV's very own morning show engineer, Brooke. This is coming from your mom, dad, Corey, and all of your friends right here at the station. Happy 50th birthday to Erin. Your family loves you so much and hopes you have a wonderful day. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us over an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Please send them at least 1 day in advance.
Back over to the Pure Country 92.7 studios now. Chase, I have to ask what your answers were coming in as for the question you asked last hour. Is it okay to watch major sporting events on your phone at other major life events? What are your listeners saying?
Honestly, most are pushing towards yes, absolutely. They said they'll have it on their phone anyway, so if they can have the Jays game in the background of this wedding that is coming up Saturday night, they are all good for it. And again, like, the bride is entertaining the idea, so I feel like she's trending in the right direction. And the main thing is you just got to have the volume down for it. You know, if Buck's yelling, "Get up, ball," in the middle of the vows, that might be a little distracting. But you can still weigh in. Text 54321. Also get ready. Next code word to win that trip to Jamaica coming up shortly here at 8 o'clock.
I'm actually very surprised that your listeners are trending towards yes. Janelle and I were solid no's.
Really? You're not even wearing blue today, though.
I know, but if it's a major life event, I guess if the bride said it's okay, it's okay. Whatever the bride says goes. But at my wedding, that would have been a no.
I know mine, my wife would have, like, we would have done the vows, like, in between innings. Like, there would be no way that she was missing the Chase game.
All right. Thanks so much, Chase.
Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Miley Cyrus says she'll sing the end credits song for the upcoming new Avatar movie. The song, Dream as One, will be released November 14th. The 20th century film Avatar Fire and Ash hits theaters December 19th. Kim Kardashian and mom Kris Jenner arrived in London for the premiere of All's Fair. Kardashian is set to star in the upcoming legal drama that hits Hulu on November 4th. Hulu and 20th Century Fox are owned by ABC's parent company, Disney.
Rome looks so good on you, right?
Emily in Paris is headed to Rome. The first trailer for season 5 of the Netflix series finds Emily, played by Lily Collins, falling in and out of love in the Eternal City, while also making pit stops in Venice and back in Paris. Minnie Driver joins the cast for the new season on Netflix in December.
I'm living in a war with time.
Brandi Carlile's new album, Returning to Myself, comes out tomorrow, and she's also going on tour. Carlile announcing her Human Tour will hit 10 cities between February and March of next year, starting in Philadelphia. And happy birthday to Deadpool himself. Canadian-born actor and producer Ryan Reynolds is turning 49 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
In places that we...
Sidebar time. Jeremy, take it away for us.
All right, so hockey season well underway now, and this little fan is getting into the spirit with song.
Oh, everyone there, longing tonight, the whistle, the puck goes down, the wink,
the ice.
Yeah, Little Connor is his name. He's learning the hockey song by Stompin' Tom Connors, of course, through this illustrated book. He's got a ways to go, but he's on the right track. He apparently has the words memorized, and he's getting the melody down, too. Now, this kid was actually named after Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard, is what they say. So, yeah, he does have no choice but to be a hockey fan.
Aww. So, fun fact, my daughter was actually born last year when the Oilers were at the in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and my husband asked, if they win, can we please name our daughter after an Oiler? So we had some Oiler-themed names picked out that week, which we didn't have to use. Unfortunately for him, he was really upset about it. But no, she's
Your baby was almost named Draisaitl? Amazing.
So close. So very close.
Yeah.
No, there was like Leah for Leon and things like that. There was variations for that. Let's head on into a quick break. Fill up your coffee cups. We'll be right back. It's Thursday, October 23rd.
It would be for those individuals that very much are likely facing arrest.
The provincial government outlining its plans for the coming year, including legislation on treating addiction, safety, and trade.
We will have to do less of some of the things that we want to do so we can do more of what we must do.
In a pre-budget address to Canadians, Prime Minister Mark Carney is promising more investment balanced with less spending.
That's not right for the people, so we're doing that right now.
And with sky-high prices for World Series tickets, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is looking at bringing back a policy to cap resale prices. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Swatsky.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
Yeah, we're having a really good morning here this morning. How are you feeling, Janelle?
I'm feeling good. That sun's coming up. It's going to be beautiful out. How are you feeling?
Good. Now that we're seeing the temperatures get warmer again. We had a cooler few days.
We did, yes. And for now, those are over. We do have some nice temperatures rolling into the weekend as well.
All right. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the weekend. Let's turn our attention to news now. Saskatchewan has outlined its priorities for the coming year in its throne speech.
Our government will continue to make every effort to work collaboratively with the federal government toward our shared goals of a strong and growing Saskatchewan energy.
The Saskatchewan Party has announced a focus on community safety and addictions while also promising new legislation to allow tailgating before Rough Riders games. Another highlight, the Compassionate Intervention Act, which would require those suffering from addictions and who pose a danger to themselves or others to enter a treatment program. This is the second throne speech since last year's provincial election. Nuclear industry leaders gathering in Saskatoon say the province is being looked at as a leader in powering the future. It's the first time the Canadian Nuclear Association held a conference in Western Canada, and more than 500 executives and supporters are hearing of Saskatchewan's goals and contributions moving forward. Cameco CEO Tim Gitzel says after 10 years of struggling following the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, demand for nuclear is soaring. And if countries are serious about net zero emissions, nuclear power is now part of that conversation.
Today we're living in a moment of what I would call unprecedented momentum for nuclear power, the likes of which I have not seen in over 40 years in this business.
Gitzel says one key driver of the demand is the large data centers needed to power AI, as companies around the world are investing heavily into the new technology. A murder trial continued in Saskatoon Wednesday. Jeremy, take us through what happened.
Well, Kayleen, police were actually called to Saskatoon's Court of King's Bench during this second-degree murder trial because of safety concerns involving a Crown witness. 28-year-old Andrew Rosenfeld accused of killing his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nikira Brown. She was found shot dead November 15th, 2022, inside the apartment they shared on Avenue P South. Court heard the two had been dating for about a year and were both members of the Terror Squad street gang. Officers showed up as former gang member Catherine Iron took the stand for a second day. The Crown says Iron's safety has become an issue, telling court, quote, somehow information's gotten out that she had testified about Terror Squad secrets. The judge reminded the gallery there are potential safety concerns and urged people not to take advantage of what's being said in court. A deal in place for a private group to operate Saskatoon's future downtown arena has undergone some notable changes. After striking a deal last summer, Oakview Group paused its deal and came back to the city for a new 25-year deal that aims to bring in more money to the city over the course of the deal. But it also incentivizes Oakview to bring in more money every year. If the arena makes up to $2 million profit, Oakview takes 50% of the cut, as opposed to 10% in the original deal. But anything between $2 and $4 million profit, all goes to the city. Dan Willems is leading the Entertainment District project, and he feels the city got a good deal.
Protection from operating losses is a big one for us, and the massive swing of the incentive fees towards our favor over the higher performing ranges will result in greater revenues for the city.
Oakview's contributing $15 million up front. It's down $5 million from the previous deal. But the city says it can get up to $65 million more under this new structure. Kayleen, an update from the U of R over the dissolution of its students' union.
That's right. Thanks, Jeremy. The University of Regina has released a statement following a controversial dissolution vote by the U of R Students' Union. The U of R's president said that it recognizes students were disappointed by URSU only offering online participation, with some students being unable to join. He reiterated the university has not dispersed any student funds to URSU as of the fall semester and continues to provide core student services and funding to groups that rely on those student fees. University leadership added it will work with student leadership that will act in the best interests of the students. The province-wide teachers' strike in Alberta is now into its third week, and teachers are now bracing for back-to-work legislation.
Government wants to kind of brush it under the carpet and just mandate us back and not deal with it.
Premier Danielle Smith says the standoff is becoming an intolerable hardship for students and that this back-to-work legislation could be implemented as early as next week. But many teachers say they would be returning to a learning environment worse than the one before. The union representing Alberta teachers say they're already talking to lawyers to determine next steps. The strike involves 51,000 teachers in public, separate and francophone schools and has left 750,000 students out of the classroom. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he understands fans' frustrations over the price of those World Series tickets.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people.
World Series tickets sold out in about 30 minutes, with many popping back on in the resale market at eye-popping prices. Premier Ford now says his government is considering legislation to cap resale prices, but it was his government that scrapped part of a law limiting resale markups up to 50%. A Liberal MPP tabled a motion yesterday to bring back that policy. The Louvre's museum director now says a weak and aging security system left them open to the theft of millions of dollars worth of French crown jewels. Speaking publicly for the first time since the heist on Sunday, the director told French senators that the only camera monitoring the exterior wall of the Louvre, where the thieves broke in, was pointing away from the first-floor balcony that led to the gallery of Apollo, which was housing the jewels. Despite the museum's huge volume of visitors, which was 8.7 million last year alone, investment in security has been slow, with the director highlighting budget challenges big institutions face. The Los Angeles Dodgers have arrived in Toronto. Jays fans were hoping for this sight 2 years ago. Shohei Ohtani getting off a plane in Toronto, but he's arriving now as a Dodger, about to take on the Jays in the World Series. Game 1 goes Friday night at 6 p.m. Sask time. The Regina Pats are starting to put some wins together.
Breakaway, here he comes, he stops, waits, centers it, shot stop, rebound, score!
Ian Brown had a pair of goals for the Pats in a 6-3 win over the Lethbridge Hurricanes last night at Brand Centre. That's Regina's second win in a row and vaults them into 8th place in the Eastern Conference. The Pats are back in action Friday in Red Deer.
Back across, now guard, right side circle, fires, he scores!
Matthew Guard's 4th of the year was the game winner in overtime as the Red Deer Rebels edged the Swift Current Broncos 4-3 last night. The Broncos have points in each of their 3 last games. They're in PA on Friday. It's been more than 6 years since a concert was held at Mosaic Stadium, and it's official. One is coming back. Real District announced just moments ago the Foo Fighters will be coming to Regina's Mosaic Stadium in 2026. We'll have the latest for you a little bit later on. More details of that announcement. All right, Janelle, how excited are you for that official announcement?
I'm so excited. I think this is going to bring in a really good crowd, too. This is a huge concert.
This is such a breath of fresh air, because I know a lot of times there's this misconception that Saskatchewan doesn't get the good musical acts. Well, here's proof. Here they come, the Foo Fighters. How exciting. What's going on in the Weather Center, though?
Well, as you can see behind me here, that sun is up, which means that temperature is slowly but surely going to get a little bit higher. Let's take a look over at our morning morning view, which is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. So 0 degrees. We are starting to see that temperature get a little bit warmer. Patience is key. It's going to be about 11 to 13 degrees here in Regina today. So we do have a nice day ahead of us and a beautiful weekend. A little bit of a wind moving through the city as well. That is expected to continue on. Now over to Saskatoon, 2 degrees currently, seeing that beautiful sunshine over our Saskatoon friends as well. So a little bit cloudier in the sky, but for the most part today, we've got lots of sunshine across Saskatchewan. Now let's move over to our futurecast here. So you can see some of those clouds moving through. We aren't seeing anything involving precipitation. So no rain, no snow as of right now. Now the Yorkton area, there's a small chance of a little bit of a drizzle coming through, but the rest of Saskatchewan is seeing very, very dry conditions. Over to current temperatures now. Stony Rapids, 0 degrees. Buffalo Narrows, 4. La Ronge is at 3. Nipawin, -3. Prince Albert, -2. Hudson Bay, -4. The Battleford's at 1 degree currently. Kindersley, 2 degrees, along with Saskatoon and Wynyard. Yorkton, -3. Swift Current, 3 degrees. And we've got East End and Assiniboia at 0. Now let's take a look over at our highs for today. We've got really nice temperatures here. The Battleford's seeing about 11 degrees. Prince Albert, 12 degrees. Again, Saskatoon and Regina at that 13-degree mark. Moose Jaw and Swift Current, 16 degrees. Weyburn and Estevan, 15, and Yorkton, 12. So lots of sunshine here across Saskatchewan. Now for our 7-day forecast here in Regina, again, 13 as our high for today. That sun is coming up and it will be sticking around today. We've got lots of sun headed our way. Now starting tomorrow is when those clouds will start to slowly roll in. Those will last through the weekend, but still really nice temperatures. 18 as our high for Saturday. Now Monday of next week, we'll start to see some rain coming down, 9 degrees. And on Wednesday, snow showers with 5 degrees. So next week, things are going to start to cool off. Make sure you're taking advantage of this beautiful weekend coming up here. Over to Saskatoon, 13 as the high for today. See some clouds in the sky. Now those will be consistent throughout the weekend as well. Once we roll into Wednesday, 5 degrees, and those snow showers are on the way. All right, your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Well, when you think of black cats, you might think of bad luck, but not in Salem, Massachusetts.
He's beautiful. He's so soft.
Yeah, black cats are the star of the show there, especially at this time of year. And this is Lucifer, might be the biggest star of the bunch. He's a favorite all over the city. And his owner thinks it's because he's so calm. Anybody who wants to pet him just comes up and does so, and he's cool with it.
Janelle and I would be all over that. We are cat lovers. Jeremy, I know you're not quite as much.
Correct.
We don't need any more words than that. We just need correct.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Janelle and I would love that, though. Yes. Let's get to our question of the day. We now have official confirmation. The Foo Fighters are coming to Regina's Mosaic Stadium in September of 2026. Tickets will be going on sale this Halloween. So our question of the day today, we were asking who would you want to see perform at Mosaic Stadium, because this is a fantastic get for Saskatchewan. Who else would you want to see, though? What's on the big board?
All right, well, Darren here says, of course, the Chili Peppers and Rush. We've got Garth Brooks again, Keith Urban, Reba. Oh, yeah.
Reba would be a dream.
Bring her in.
To see live.
Absolutely. We've also got, of course, Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen, Jelly Roll, Brandon Lake. We've got lots of answers coming in that are saying Pink. That's a popular one. We've also got Phil here who says George Strait would be a fun one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with Heather Bryant on X there.
Lady Gaga.
Oh, I would pay a lot of money for Lady Gaga tickets.
Man.
How fun would that be? We've got Jeremy here who says Pearl Jam, and we've also got Metallica. So there's some really good answers coming through here. We've got like lots of fun ones. So that wraps up all of our answers here today. Thank you so much for sending in all of these great suggestions. Hopefully we can get some of these artists coming through. All
right. Thanks so much, Janelle. We'll be right back after this.
For 4 decades, one Saskatoon program's been offering healing and hope for cardiac patients. And as Carla Shinkaruk shows us, for the thousands a part of this support group, every heartbeat tells a story.
Oh, I'm here 5 days a week.
Terry Usick and Cliff Marchuk are here at the Fieldhouse getting some exercise. But what brought them here is much more than fitness. They've faced the fight of their lives.
They did a blood test. 5 o'clock that afternoon, I got a phone call from the doctor, and he says, you need to call 911 and go to the hospital. You're having a heart attack.
Failed a stress test and went to emergency a couple months later, and they took me in and thought it was the stents would fix my problem. It turned out to be a triple bypass.
Now they're helping others because they're part of the volunteer-run Coronary Artery Rehabilitation Group, or CARG.
Life doesn't end once you have a heart condition. What CARG offers you is fitness, fellowship, and health.
CARG members come together here for fitness and are also connected with any special services they need. They also visit patients in hospital, sharing their stories.
And we say, hi, my name is Terry. I had a heart attack 7 years ago, and I was where you are. The day that they're in a hospital recovering from either a stent or open heart surgery is one of the toughest days of their life.
CARG has been doing this since 1985. They're celebrating a big anniversary.
Over 40 years, we've helped over 5,000 people. Right now, our membership is well over 400.
The program is one of a kind. They even get inquiries asking for advice to start a similar group in other cities across the country.
We're unique to Canada. There are programs similar, but we're unique because we're all volunteer-driven. Everything we do is raised, the funds are raised through membership dues.
So with every step, this group proving that healing is stronger when shared.
I love going and talking to people, and they're so enthusiastic. So does it lengthen life? I'm going to say yes, it does.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Now let's check in with Mike Siona and see what he is getting up to this morning.
Well, we are still at the carnival, still at Crossmount, and still a little bit spooked out. I'm joined now by Kieran McKercher from Crossmount Cider Company. Out here, it's incredible just how spooky this has become. Give us the details of the carnival.
So the experience basically starts in the parking lot. Right when you open the door, you'll hear the carnival music, and then you can come by, have food, drinks before you wait to go into the haunted house or stay after. So it'll be like a whole experience for a night.
No doubt about it. Now, obviously, it's not just the haunted house out here. You guys have so many different things, and I know this weekend coming up is a big one.
Yeah, so Friday, Saturday, we actually have free psychic readings and tarot cards from 7 to 9, both Friday and Saturday nights.
I love that, and as you might be able to notice, it's a little bit interactive here at the carnival. There's people lurking and looming there, either here late or they've come early. I'm not sure. Kieran, super cool to have this here. How excited are you guys to host it?
Yeah, so this is our first time hosting it out here. We've never had a haunted house before, so it's been really fun, and it's been a really cool experience.
No doubt about it. Well, obviously, time is ticking when it comes to the Halloween season. Get down here to Crossmount Cider Company and experience the carnival for yourself. Well, you can't go far without seeing or feeling the impact of the Kinsman Club of Saskatoon. And today we're talking about the Kinsman 50/50 Lottery with its president, Tony Meyer. Tony, what is exciting about this fundraiser?
Mike, thanks for having me here today. The Kinsman 50/50 fundraiser, last year we did $380,000 with the winner taking half. This year we have a guaranteed prize of $50,000, and the remainder that we keep goes straight back to the community.
I love that. And of course, I mean, over $380,000 last time, guaranteed at 50, but we know we're going to push that ticket total higher. The more tickets that we buy, the more somebody's going to win. But it's the other half that really makes that legacy and really impacts Saskatoon. So even if you maybe don't win the 50-50, the whole community wins. Tell me what the club does here.
The club tries to make Saskatoon a better place for everybody that lives in it. We support infrastructure projects like the Kinsman Park, Gordie Howe Arena. We also fund youth sports leagues like the Kinsman Lacrosse League, Saskatoon Minor Football, and the Kinsman Hockey League. We also donate to other organizations that help, like Empty Arms, Friendship Inn Downtown, amongst many others.
Yeah, truly. I mean, we're not just giving lip service, but you guys are seemingly almost everywhere, at least everywhere that I happen to be, which is tremendous. And thank you on behalf of the whole community for that. Now, we're always inundated with buy it now messages, but this particular lottery, we do want to buy today because tomorrow, Friday, is a huge bonus prize day.
Yeah, so starting at 8 a.m. on Friday, October 24th, we're giving away $1,000 an hour for 12 hours. So $12,000 in prizes that if you buy a ticket today, you're eligible to win all day Friday.
Well, fantastic. I love that. So that, of course, then would be, you can win that bonus prize and still be in for the main jackpot prize. And I can't help but notice you're sporting a beautiful Blue Jays jersey. That's what that thing is called. There is a tie-in as well with some prizing with the Jays?
Yes, so we have a Gaussman hat, a baseball, a jersey, and then 2 ticket packages for $3,500 to go see a Jays game.
Fantastic. A travel voucher, right?
Travel voucher, yeah.
$3,500, but you're not getting into the World Series, I don't think. Not right?
No, you can
I was in the queue. I was trying to buy tickets the other day, and I was like 290,000th in line. So World Series tickets are an entirely different thing. But it is fantastic. And this is a signed Jays jersey from when the Jays came to the dinner, right?
Yeah, we had Vlad Guerrero Jr. out a couple years ago, and I was fortunate enough to get him to sign my jersey.
Fantastic. Well, we are fortunate enough to have you here. We're fortunate enough to have people have the ability to buy tickets for this. What's the web address for people to buy?
Kinsman5050lottery.com.
Fantastic. Get there, get your tickets, and good luck.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Kayleen Sawatsky, and here's what's making news. Prime Minister Mark Carney made his pitch to Canadians in a campaign-style speech Wednesday night, outlining an ambitious agenda ahead of the next month's federal budget. But his promise of bold action came with a warning. CTV's Abigail Biman on Carney's message and the pressure to deliver.
When I was your age, the Berlin Wall fell.
The Prime Minister addressing a room of university students, but speaking to all Canadians.
Our goal for Canada is to double our non-U.S. exports over the course of the next decade.
Mark Carney says that will generate $300 billion in trade.
Even with such efficiencies and with better management, we will have to do less of some of the things that we want to do so we can do more of what we must do.
The speech telegraphed broad strokes of the upcoming budget: spend less, invest more, saying it will include the long-awaited climate strategy and a new immigration plan.
We will play to win. We will bet on Canada and all Canadians.
He also spoke of working collaboratively across the aisle.
We had a good conversation. He didn't make any commitments.
Fresh off meeting opposition leaders ahead of the budget.
He needs to bring forward an affordable budget.
A minority government means the Liberals need help passing it or risk facing an election.
We've been very clear on what he would have to do to get our support. Now it's up to him.
They know our conditions, and if they wake up a little bit late, it's once again their problem.
Conservatives are trying to hold the Liberals to a $42 billion deficit. Experts, including the parliamentary budget officer, suspect it will be much higher. Carney didn't offer any specifics, but he did say transforming the economy will take sacrifices and time. The budget comes down November 4th.
Hundreds of health workers at Royal University Hospital are the latest to sound the alarm over overcrowded emergency rooms, calling on the province to take immediate action. CTV's Stacey Hine on the letter they wrote and the solutions they are seeking.
Of paramount concern is the growing impact of overcrowding on patient safety.
Sarah Peters, along with hundreds of other healthcare workers at Royal University Hospital, is calling for immediate action to address overcrowding and hallway care in the emergency department.
We felt that we needed to pause and reflect on the current state of healthcare in Saskatchewan, and it's heavily reflected in what goes on in the emergency department.
She penned a letter to the province detailing the concerns, backed by 450 signatures.
The current direction and mandates and incentives that the government's doing is just not being as effective as we hoped it be.
Premier Scott Moe says the province is taking action to address healthcare concerns.
And I thank them for using their voice and raising these important issues. And what I would say is this very much parallels largely with what we've heard from Saskatchewan people over the course of the past year.
Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says the main focus is recruiting and retaining healthcare workers.
What is going to help, I think, the most is making sure that, the incredible doctors and nursing and other staff across our system have more people on their team.
The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses says the province needs to act on the solutions outlined in the letter.
Kudos to the courage to speak up, and we're hoping to continue that conversation and make sure that there is a response with actual actions attached to it.
Peters says some solutions can be implemented immediately. She hopes the letter sparks change as everyone works towards a common goal.
We want to create change, and it very much aligns with what the government's mandate is. We're all about patient care. Everybody wants patient care to improve.
Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration announced new sanctions against Russia's oil industry aimed at moving Russian President Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table. The sanctions against Russian oil giants Rosneft and Lukoil followed months of calls from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and bipartisan pressure on Trump to hit Russia with harder sanctions on its oil industry. The EU also adopted a 19th package of sanctions against Russia today for its war against Ukraine, banning Russian gas imports. The Russian Foreign Ministry responded today, saying that the EU elites cannot accept that sanctions do not work. The new U.S. government-approved Pentagon Press Corps will take over the coverage of the U.S. military today after a majority of the traditional mainstream media organizations refused to sign on to new restrictive rules governing their coverage. Last Wednesday, dozens of reporters, including from Fox News, turned in their access badges and exited the Pentagon rather than to agree to government-imposed restrictions on their work. The new Defense Department prevents them from soliciting information that has not been cleared for release by the department. Reporting on the actions of the U.S. military will now be covered by members of the far-right media outlets such as Turning Point USA, OAN, and Epoch Times. King Charles is at the Vatican this morning for a historic meeting with Pope Leo. As well as Queen Camilla were greeted by church officials as they arrived for the state visit. In a symbol of unity between the church and England and the Catholic Church, the British monarch and the Pope will pray together for the first time in 500 years. The prayer will be part of a service at the Sistine Chapel. This is also the first meeting between the King and Pope Leo. Individual award nominees for the 2025 CFL season have been announced ahead of the final week of the regular season.
Trevor Harris and the Riders down by 3. Late first half, throwing here. And it's caught and more.
Quarterback Trevor Harris headlines Saskatchewan's nominees as the team's most outstanding player. In 16 games this season, Harris has thrown for more than 4,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 11 interceptions, helping the green and white finish first overall in the league and earning hosting privileges for the Western Final. Linebacker Jameer Thurman is the Riders' nominee for Most Outstanding Defensive Player, while A.J. Allen for Most Outstanding Canadian. In total, 6 riders are up for awards this year. Jamarcus Hardrick for Most Outstanding Offensive Lineman, Peyton Collins for Top Rookie, and Nick Weeb, former U of S Husky, for Outstanding Special Team Player. Team award winners advance to a second round of voting to determine who will represent the West Divisions, which will be announced on October 30th. The division finalists will go head-to-head at the CFL Awards, the marquee event of the Grey Cup Festival, on November 13th. It's official, Saskatchewan, a concert is coming to Mosaic Stadium. District announced just 30 minutes ago the Foo Fighters will be coming to Mosaic Stadium September 15th, 2026. It's part of their North American tour kicking off in Toronto August 4th. Mayor, Your Morning Saskatchewan caught up with Mayor Chad Baczynski on what this means for the community.
People have talked all the time about, what's coming to the stadium for a concert. I've heard a lot of feedback in that regard. So to be able to see that come to life now, and I think this is some positive momentum going forward.
Rock band Queens of the Stone Age will be joining the Foo Fighters throughout the tour. Tickets go on sale starting at 10 a.m. on October 31st. Janelle, do you have a favorite Foo Fighters song?
Well, growing up, I remember my mom is very musical, and she always played music in the house, and Learn to Fly was one of the ones that was constantly playing. I remember that so vividly. Do you have a favorite song, Kaylee?
I was going to say Learn to Fly, too, so we're
perfect.
One in the same. We're always in sync, Janelle,
We
you and
really are twins.
What's going on in the Weather Center?
Well, we have some beautiful weather coming our way. As you can see here in Regina, that sun is up. We've got nice bright views behind us, 0 degrees currently, some clouds rolling in, but we are expecting to see a very sunny day for us right here in Regina and in Saskatoon. 2 degrees, a little bit of a breeze moving through as well, but we aren't seeing super high wind speeds, and so those temperatures are going to get much higher as we go on. Now, over for our future cast here, you can see some of those clouds moving through. This is into tonight and, of course, into early tomorrow morning as well. Now, originally, earlier this morning, we were seeing some precipitation over towards the Yorkton area. As of right now, though, it's looking like all of Saskatchewan is expecting to see clear skies. Now, for our current temperatures, Stony Rapids, 0 degrees, Buffalo Narrows, 4, La Ronge, 3, South End, -7, Spiritwood, 0, Melfort, 1 degree, and Hudson Bay, -4, Kindersley, 2 degrees, Swift Current, 3, Moose Jaw, -3, along with Yorkton, Weyburn and Estevan, -1, and East End and Assiniboia, 0. Now for our highs today, we've got lots of sunshine. Prince Albert, 12 degrees. The Battlefords, 11. Saskatoon and Regina, 13. Yorkton seeing about 12 degrees. Estevan, 15, along with Weyburn. And Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 16. Now let's look at our 5-day forecast here in Regina today. Again, 13 as our high with some beautiful sunshine. Starting tomorrow is when you'll start to see a few more clouds rolling in. 15 degrees. Now a beautiful weekend ahead of us as well. 18 degrees on Saturday. You won't see too much for cloud cover. However, Sunday is when they'll start rolling back in. Now Monday, some precipitation expected to be on the way mid-afternoon. 9 degrees as our high. As for Saskatoon, 13 as the high today. Now, it is a little bit cloudier, and those are going to be sticking around through the weekend as well, but still 17 degrees as that high on Saturday. So make sure you're getting out, because early and mid next week, we are expecting to see some snow showers coming through for both the Regina and Saskatoon areas. So as for right now in Saskatoon, starting on Monday, 9 degrees, a little bit of cloud cover again, but we are still making sure to take advantage of that warm weather. It is soon coming to an end.
With daycare costs rising and wait lists growing, more parents are turning to grandparents to help with childcare. But it raises an interesting question. Should grandparents be paid for the time they spend caring for their grandkids? Joining us now to explore this situation and the family dynamics behind it is host of the Go to Grandma podcast, Kathy Buckworth. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Jeremy. Yeah, interesting question, isn't it? Should they be paid? I think as you have to pre-qualify with, can they be paid, and can you claim it as a child care expense? Because I know a lot of parents would care about that. So just to set that off, yes, you can claim it as a child care expense if the grandparent is claiming it as income and they're supporting documentation. So let's get that out of the way. It can happen. Should it happen? Let's talk about that.
Okay, is this a topic that you have seen coming up? Where did this come from?
actually saw it on social media, primarily TikTok, actually, millennial parents saying, why won't my parents babysit my kids more often than they do? Or why won't they come and see them more often than they do? And I think it raised an interesting question in terms of what's the obligation for grandparents to spend time with their grandkids. I love my grandkids, as you know, Jeremy, or if you follow me on social media, and I spend every opportunity to be with them. I have a flexible schedule. They live only an hour away. I can do this. That is not the case for a lot of grandparents. For a lot of grandparents, it is a huge time sacrifice, and it could be actually a huge money sacrifice. A lot of grandparents are still working full-time, and or they might have taken an early retirement where, you know, they don't have the time. If they were to take payment for this, it would affect that schedule as well. So they're caught in sort of a conundrum between, can I take the time to do this? Do I need the money? Am I still working? Times are tight for everybody. I know millennial parents are strapped for money right now. But guess what? Some people living on a fixed pension income are as well. And maybe they're finding other jobs to supplement that income. So can childcare be one of those jobs? So there's a few factors at play here. And I like to talk also about, so first was availability that we just talked about. The second one is willingness. So do the grandparents want to babysit the grandkids for free or at all? These are discussions that you have to have with your kids and their kids to make sure that you want to do this. You want to spend the time. You're not just putting them in front of a screen and counting the hours. Like, this is something you really want to actively get into. And of course, another important factor is ability. I have 4 grandkids and they're 6 and under. And luckily I'm pretty active, so I can run after these kids. It exhausts me. But if you have physical limitations, or if you live in a place maybe that's a bit small, or they live in a place that's a bit small and confined, or it's hard to get to, you know, that ability to do it can be a huge factor in determining whether you can watch the grandkids on more or less a full-time basis. And really that's what I'm talking about, is a full-time basis, not just a few babysitting hours here and there.
Right. These aren't, you know, date night once every 6 weeks or something. This is a daily childcare situation.
Back to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk again about, you mentioned it briefly, but there are some tax or maybe pension implications that families also need to be aware of for this?
Absolutely. So, you know, parents are allowed to, of course, to claim childcare expenses on their taxes if they have documentation. They can pay a grandparent for childcare. You cannot pay your spouse, you cannot pay a child under the 18 and get a tax benefit for that, but you can pay a grandparent and get a tax benefit for that if the grandparent is also claiming it as income. And so they have to be willing to be able to do that as well. Because if you're claiming that income, it may affect an early retirement package you might have taken. So, and it brings more income, obviously, into what your taxable income is going to be as well. So there are some tax implications that you want to think through as well. This is, of course, considering you've already decided this is the route that you want to go. But there are some logistic steps that you need to take afterwards as well.
Okay. Kathy, where can we quickly find the Go to Grandma podcast for more?
You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you find your podcasts. And please listen in.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeremy.
But it keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I don't want you less, but I just want you more. So it keep coming back. Why you always come running on me?
And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Skates. Myself, Lee Jones, and Wes. Final regular season game. We know the Riders are going to finish first, but other than that, in the West, we know BC can finish anywhere 2nd to 4th. They could cross over. Winnipeg can finish 3rd to 4th, so they could cross over or be on the road in the West. And we just know Calgary's going to stay in the West. We just don't know whether they're going to host or be on the road for that Western semifinal. So this week, there's a lot on the line, except for Saskatchewan. So for you, how do you want them to approach this ball game?
You know, the Riders, it's going to be a situation where do you look at it like, okay, BC's likely going to be playing for something. I know it's the later game in the weekend, so, or Calgary will have played already, and so BC will probably have something to play for. I'm sure Calgary's going to try to get a win. So I think it's really a situation for the Riders where maybe you throw in the starters for a quarter if you know you're going to get BC starters. But really, at this stage in the game, I would probably just sit all the guys. But if you want to get a little, like dicey, get a little information, get your starters all prepped so that they don't have as long of a time off, kind of get them in there for that first quarter, bang against the BC first team and see kind of how you stack up, maybe and get an idea for what's going to go down in the Western Final potentially. But you'd say that, then you mess around and come out with a win. Now you're maybe playing against somebody else. So I think the safest bet is to kind of just sit your starters, come in healthy, and then let it play out. You know who your opponent's going to be based on likely not being able to beat BC with the second place guys.
See, I'm in a different boat. I feel like they need to start everyone unless they're injured. So if you got a guy that's nicked up, say, we'll see on Dante Myers, but if he's like 80, 85%, okay, I might rest you just because I want you 100% for the playoffs. But I would like to see the starters go through, look good, especially on the offense, just because it's kind of been here or there. And if it's third, fourth quarter and they're looking good, then maybe play some guys. But with that bye next week, I mean, that's a long time since meaningful games. And as a football player, does that affect you if it's almost like a month from a meaningful game to a playoff game?
I think it does. I mean, obviously this far into the season, it's going to affect you a little less. I mean, it's a mental game up to this point. Everybody's banged up, right? So that little bit of edge you can get from healing up, and I mean, I don't even know if a month is going to really get you completely healed, but it's definitely going to have you feeling fresher than your opponents going into that playoff game. So I would say that you kind of have to weigh it. Do our guys need that experience? Do they need to maybe get the win to force BC over to the East or, to an away game in that Western semi? Or do you just go ahead and say, you know what, let's give our guys, have them as fresh as they can, and let's just really work at it at practice, make sure, we can install some new things, we can have some wrinkles in there, and know that guys are going to be prepared and fresh and ready to give it their all.
Defensively, just wanted to talk about what, especially against a guy like Nathan Rourke, what I will be interested to see is how well they play against this BC offense that has really moved the ball the last couple weeks. And more so, can they keep Rourke in the pocket? He's a guy that can run. I'd like to see them, in the future, whether it's him, maybe a Vernon Adams that might run, how good they are keeping that quarterback from getting out.
I think if there is a defense that can contain Nathan Rourke, it is the Riders. But, I mean, he's shown that he's maybe uncontainable. He kind of moves around in the pocket. He's kind of feeling the pressure well, especially this last month. He stepped up. We just saw last week he just ran a 70-yarder and made it look easy. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're going to have to keep him off schedule, really cover down on the back end, and try to run some stunts. I would like to see them continue to kind of blitz the linebackers. I've seen A.J. Allen and Brooks Jr. getting home, and so maybe a few more blitzes at Nathan Rourke just to, hey, we'd rather have you getting it out of your hands quick than, coverage getting further and further back. Then all of a sudden you're just running us to death and just have our guys chasing you all day. So I would say send the pressure, make him kind of make the quick decision. Hopefully we can get some tips or overthrows and get a couple turnovers that way. But just sitting back and letting him run around is probably not ideal.
Yeah, so it might not mean anything in the standings, at least for the Riders. Means everything for every other team that seems to be playing this week. But it'll be interesting to see how they match up against this Lions team. Could be a preview or it could be a warm-up for another team. We'll analyze this game and then look forward to the Western semifinal on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
Well, Theater of Madness is out here at the Carnival at Crossmount Cider Company. We're inside the creamery now, and I'll tell you what, joined by hypnotist Corey J. again, who's the man behind the Theater of Madness. You guys have done an amazing job out here. How well received has it been so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. We've had a lot of people coming back and saying thank you, and lots of positive reviews, and people are just loving that there's a backstory to what was happening last year and the year before.
Very, very cool. I love that. Always growing, always innovating, and trying to spread a little bit of fright province-wide. You guys are in Prince Albert as well?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're at the Gateway Mall in Prince Albert, and it's a very large haunted house there, a little bit more like the theater was last year, and it's pahauntedhouse.ca for tickets there.
Fantastic. Obviously, our friends back here have thrown us a little bit for a loop, Corey, which is, I mean, that's really part and parcel of all of the spooktacular season. How do we get tickets for this one?
SaskatoonHauntedHouse.com. To get tickets, it's got all the show times. Ticket at SaskatoonHauntedHouse.com. We've got a couple different prices for people to choose from as well.
Awesome. And of course, this weekend, the weekend before Halloween, a big one. You guys have some other stuff going on around.
Yes, we've got Friday, we've got 2 psychic readers, tarot cards, palm readings, and then on Saturday night, we've got 3 palm readers, and it's free from 7 till 9 p.m. on Friday and Saturday.
Right on. Okay, well, thanks very much, Corey. I'm going to get out of here, you guys. It's too much. It's too much for me.
I want to show them that I'm not like anybody in this town. I'm everybody in the scene and everything in between.
We amplified black talent.
He changed the world. Not just American culture, he changed the world.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Here's your first look at Being Eddie. The documentary examines Eddie Murphy's unique and barrier-breaking career, talking with a host of fellow Hollywood legends and going in depth with Murphy himself. Being Eddie debuts November 12th on Netflix.
If we get this wrong, none of us are going to be alive tomorrow. There is no plan B.
The nuclear thriller A House of Dynamite is the first feature in 8 years from Oscar-winning director Catherine Bigelow.
There is a specialness about her films because she makes so few of them, and because it's like, I think a lot of the great films, like Peter Weir as well, like, you know, Chris Nolan, there's a personal connection to whatever it is she's asking of the audience and of the viewer in why she's brought this to life.
A House of Dynamite is now playing in limited release and debuts on Netflix Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Just ready to blow.
Horses dropped in for a visit to some very special fans in Manhattan, but these aren't just any horses.
They are mini therapy horses, small on size but living large with the love. Here's ABC's Maggie Rulli.
Therapy animals usually look like this.
You can come pet her. That's so nice.
Recently, we were introduced to Emma and Ellie.
Could you hug Ellie?
Their dad, a former Army pilot, is traveling the world on a mission to spread joy.
Therapy dogs are for others. They help us spread joy and help people that are in stressful situations.
In Southern California, we showed you how a yellow lab named Emmy has been bringing her next-door neighbor joy every day.
If you notice, she just touched the doorbell. Good girl.
She has her own doorbell. Her neighbor can't imagine life without her.
It never gets old. We look forward to it. We watch the clock.
But on Tuesday in the Big Apple,
Would you like to say hello?
it wasn't dogs, but horses bringing the joy.
Oh, I love them. You want to take them home, right?
These therapy miniature horses dropped in on a retirement home in Manhattan.
It gives all of us old people a little hope, you know, a little pleasure.
17-year-old Pearl and 15-year-old Aiden are from Horseability, a therapeutic riding center on New York's Long Island, traveling the region and brightening up nursing homes, rehab facilities, and children's hospitals.
They're so gentle and calm, and it makes the horses just gravitate towards that.
Staffers at this retirement home say they really are making a difference.
With seniors coping with depression, anxiety, this is the best way to bring out their spirits.
Really, horses in a retirement home?
Typical New York. There's nothing beyond thought here.
Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
That initiative. So sweet. They're adorable. Who couldn't smile looking at that? Oh, beautiful. All right, let's get on over to our sidebar. All right, Jeremy apparently didn't like that one. So, Jeremy, lead us off.
I think about the smell. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about something fun and actually exciting. And that is honoring one of our own at CTV yesterday. Wayne Mantica, you might call him a workhorse, a familiar face for viewers right across the province. He marks 50 years with CTV News Regina. Of course, it was CKCK-TV when he started in 1975. So Bell Media, parent company of CTV News, of course, formally recognizing the milestone by presenting a Bravo Award, which is the highest honor any Bell employee could receive. Wayne's covered everything from major trials to provincial politics, and he was even working for us at the legislature yesterday. So congratulations, Wayne. What a legend.
Absolutely. From the bottom of our hearts, everyone here at CTV just adores this man, and everyone in the public as well. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Everyone always comes up to me and they always say, what's Wayne Mantica like? And I have the privilege of being able to say that I know him, and not only do I know him, but I love him. Everybody loves Wayne. So congratulations, Wayne Mantica.
Yes.
All right, one more for us quickly here. Toronto-based illustrator Dave Murray has made George Springer's iconic ALCS home run into art. Murray posting this image of Springer rounding the bases on social media this week. He's a big sports fan, and he said it's 100% worth it staying up into the early hours while traveling to watch the Jays. Earlier in the postseason, he also shared this image of Vladdy doing a bat flip after a home run.
Wow.
Interesting style.
Yeah, very cool stuff there. All right, brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching today. We really appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow.